There we go. All right, so hello. My name is Keilen Jackson, and I'm going to be the person interviewing you today. So today we are here with Mr. Roy Shavers. And Roy, you want to tell the camera a little bit about yourself?
Currently, I'm an academic success specialist in the Student Success Center. I just finished my EDS specialist from UM-Flint in K through 12 leadership. I'm a native of Flint, Michigan, born and raised. Flint Central graduate, ran track and field in college, Eastern Michigan alum. Yeah, that's it.
All right, so growing up in Flint, you feel like you faced any adversity or like any struggles to get to the point where you was at?
Most definitely, education-wise, yeah. I never took school serious until it was time to go to college. I kind of was like, love basketball. Like every kid from here loves sports. So most of the stuff I focused on was sports. It wasn't focused on education until I had to take the ACT into trying to get into college. Failed that. Well, I don't think you can really fail, but I failed it. I didn't earn the score that I wanted. I got a 13 every time that I took it. But that still didn't stop me from going to college. You know, I still pursued college. I got in with the 13.
So what caused you to take it serious?
What you mean? What caused me to take what serious? School, my education. I knew if somebody gave me a chance to go to college, that's when I was gonna take it serious. I knew that our basketball wasn't gonna get me to college. Track is what got me to college. So that's when I got the opportunity to be able to run on the Division I level, and I knew when somebody gave me an opportunity to go to college, that's when I was gonna really turn it up.
And I'm sorry, they offered you a 4-hour scholarship for track, or
nope.
Did you set any records?
No, I set a record in high school. The school record, I had the school record at Flint Central in the 400 meter dash in the 4x2. We had the school record in that. But in college, Eastern, they had a lot of Olympians that ran that for the school. So the 400 is like some crazy time, bro, like to run, you know. So no, I ain't setting no records in college.
All right, that's cool. So even going to college, what was your major?
My major, going into college, my major was teacher education. I wanted to be a math teacher, but when I got to college, I seen all the math classes that you had to take, and I changed my major. Changed my major to criminal justice. And then at the time, you know, from reading and watching the news and stuff like that, wanting to be a police officer, I wanted to be a police officer. That's why I went in criminal justice. But I started seeing what was happening to police officers. They was getting beat up by, you know, civilians. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that, you know. So I changed my major to communication, not knowing what I was going to even do with communication. Like, what could I do with a communication degree? But it was how they sold it to me. It was like, you can do a lot of different things, you know, management, blah, 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 this and that. But really, I wish if I could go back in the hands of time and redo my bachelor's over, I would focus still on communication, but more so like journalism and playing around with the cameras and, you know, interviewing different people and things like that.
So being behind the camera was like a long-term thing that you wanted to do?
Well, I got introduced to the camera when I was in high school. I went to Skill Center. I took visual communication, and I loved the camera. I love going in the dark room and developing your own film. You know, we wasn't using DSLRs and these mirrorless cameras. We was actually using real film. So you had to go in the dark room and load it. You had to go in the dark room to unload it and develop it. So I don't know, that was that was fun, but I got away from it because it was other parts of visual communications that you had to do. It was like computer graphics, and I wasn't really feeling that. I just liked the camera part and the film part. That was the only parts that I liked.
Yeah, so you could definitely like see yourself being like a cameraman for a TV show or something.
Nah, not now. I just want to make content. I think education is going in a different way when it comes to how people learn. Everything online, everything on the phone. So if you can make something that's catch somebody's attention for the first 30 seconds, you got them. So I don't know. That's how I look at it. Everything that I'm trying to do within my job now is centered around technology.
Yeah, I know you say you like education. So if you was to do like educational content, what would you really talk about?
Or everything. How you move. Like I know. If I'm given another opportunity to write for another grant, I want to study not people, but I want to follow 4 or 5 students for a whole year, and tell them about different resources, learn about who they are, learn about how they learning, the things that work, the things that don't work, just to put out there where people can learn from it. Storytelling.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great. So even going back to basketball in high school, you feel like you was going to the NBA?
Yeah, every kid did. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, Jordan.
So what kind of like broke your dreams, or what was your realization? I'm not going to the league.
High school, about 11th grade, not getting, I ain't getting no looks for that. People was telling me, well, one particular person that was my high school coach was like, man, you need to just focus on track. I don't know. People used to see me run everywhere around here, around Flint. And when he said that, my 11th grade year, I think I got 8th in the state. And he was like, man, you should just take it serious, leave that basketball alone. But I'm like, man, I can't let my team down. As basketball was a team thing, then all my friends played. So I don't know. And in the middle of the season, I was like, I'm going to go run a couple meets. No practice, he took me down to Kentucky, and I think I ran 50 point with no practice. I was on an oversized track, I'm playing basketball. I've been playing basketball, and that's when things started to kind of hit me. Like, dude, you doing this with no effort, no practice, no nothing. You just come out here and just take off. So that was kind of the thing where I noticed what was like track was kind of my, was my thing to go and do. So
that's cool. Because it's track. You can go pro in track, right?
Yeah.
So you never went pro.
No, never went pro. Never even thought about going pro. My whole thing was pro was college for me. You know what I mean? If somebody give me an opportunity to leave Flint, I could have been doing a whole bunch of different other things. But I knew where my mindset was like, I'm going to college, you know what I mean? It ain't finna be for basketball, it's finna be for track. And that's when my mindset changed. And then I think I got second in the state in the 400. And that's when I was like, I'm going to college for track. But I didn't know where I was going to college. I was getting looks, but like I said, the ACT, I couldn't pass the ACT. And back then, you were either a qualifier or you were a non-qualifier, meaning the qualifier you had the grades and the ACT or SAT score. Non-qualifier you either had the grades, didn't have the ACT score, or vice versa. So I don't know, I had an ACT score, but I had the grades. And when I was given the opportunity, they took, from me taking the test so many times, they took the highest scores off of each one. So that's what got me into college. But when the coach called from Eastern, was like, man, where you going to school at? And I'm like, I don't know. He was like, you want to come here? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And next day I went down there, got my classes, and I had never visited the school, and I ain't looked back. That's where I graduated with my bachelor's and master's at. So I'm a proud Eastern Michigan alum,
Yeah. So would you have any messages? Do you have any messages to anybody out there that's trying to change their life around?
Man, don't give up. You can't give up on what is for you, but if you put your mind to something, keep pushing towards it. You know what I mean? Some doors gonna open up, don't ever stop giving up. I look at all the successful people that we talk about. that celebrities. I really like Tyler Perry's story. What he went through. Homeless, but he never gave up, doing play after play after play. He never gave up. He believed in himself, but more than anybody else would believe in him. So, he just kept putting in the work, and look where he at now. You know what I mean? He got his own studio, huge studio. So I don't know. I look at people that's got big dreams. Keep going, man. Don't ever stop dreaming.
Yeah. And also going back to track. So because you said you didn't go like pro or anything, you got kids?
Yeah. I just came back. Matter of fact, I just got back from Florida. My daughter is like super talented in jump. She run track. She jump. She do triple jump. She do triple jump. She made history this past weekend. She broke the state record in the triple jump, and she two-time state champion in the triple jump back to back. She won her she won her junior and senior year.
Yeah. Congratulations to her. I know you're a proud father.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's great. That's a great.
Yeah.
Great accomplishment, man.
Yeah.
Glad to see it.
Yeah.
So now you work at University of Michigan-Flint. How did that opportunity come about?
Well, I done been kind of all over working. I done worked in athletics on the main campus. I worked at academic support,
cool.
Which what I'm doing now. Fresh out of grad school, I worked in athletics at University of Michigan. I was a compliance assistant, so all the rules and regulations. But I ain't like that. It was like almost like being a police officer. You telling on the people that ain't doing what they supposed to do when it comes to the rules and stuff like that. So I don't know. I ain't like that. But I left, came back, worked in academic support for a couple of years, and then I left and went back and worked at Eastern as an academic advisor. That was pretty cool. Left, moved to Florida. Left Florida, moved to Atlanta, and I was working at Georgia State University for like 4.5 years as an academic advisor. And then I worked with a program that has a special place in my heart, TRIO, Student Support Services. We served low-income, first-generation college students, students that had disabilities. It's a grant-funded program. Super cool. Met a lot of super cool individuals, like students that, some that I still talk to this day. Like, they ain't just like students to me no more. They friends, just built relationships where I built relationships with them. So, yeah.
That's nice.
But that's how I left there. The pandemic happened. That's kind of how I got back here. Started kind of caring for my grandparents who had got sick. And then next thing I know, I was cutting grass. I started my own business here. Now, working for yourself is probably one of the hardest things that most people wouldn't even know, it was definitely tough. So I couldn't do it no more. My goal, I always had a goal in my mind, was to go back to school, get a doctorate. So
doctorate in what?
Education. Okay. So right now, I'm working. I finished the second master's, which is the ed specialist, like I mentioned before, which was a requirement to get into the EDD program here. So I'm starting the EDD program in the fall. So I'm doing the things that I said that I wanted to do, that I put on the vision board a long time ago. And I had a lot of opportunities to do it, but now I'm back home and, I'm taking advantage of it. When you work at a university, you should definitely take advantage of the opportunities that they give to staff to, better themselves with professional development. So that's what I'm doing.
That's nice. So how was it just growing up in Flint? Like, what was your community like?
Flint was fun, man. Back then it was big on, like I said, basketball. Flint is a basketball community. Well, it was back then. I'm not really into the sports stuff around here like how I was when I was growing up, but Flint affiliation, something that a guy that named Mr. David Munnerlin had started. Every kid wanted to play FA back in the day, man. Like FA was like from all the way from 9 and under all the way up till 17 and under. And we used to go to Florida every year. You know, they took a team down there every year. And then stuff happened, you know, as you start to see sports grow, AAU grew, and other people started making branches of Flint affiliation. So you had Flint affiliation Heat, you had Flint affiliation this. But so, you know, when you started to see that, it took away from what FA really was, because it was like hard to make the team, you know, coming up. They was taking the best kids from around the Flint area. But I don't know, man. I liked it. I was in my parents had me in a lot of different things. I was in karate. I was in bowling, which what I love now is bowling. That's all I do with my free time is bowl. I don't think about no basketball. I ain't think about no track or nothing like that. I like to bowl. So growing up, like I said, it was basketball. Basketball this, basketball that. You know, we was always wanting to play basketball. We rode bikes a lot, you know. It was like you could always go and find somewhere to play. You know what I mean? Like play basketball. You ride your bike to this neighborhood over here. We finna play with them. You know. So I don't know. It was different from what you see now. You know. You don't see a lot of kids outside playing basketball in the street like how we was, or somebody got up in their backyard. They got a hoop with, you know, a slab of concrete out where you can play it. So. It's different.
It's definitely like, even for me to say this when I'm young, I don't see people play basketball no more. Like, I used to always go outside and play basketball. If you had a hoop on your garage, everybody was coming to your crib.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming to your crib. You had the best hoop in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you definitely mentioned like Flint has a lot of basketball. Now that I'm realizing we produce people like Kyle Kuzma, Monte Morris, Miles Bridges, Mateen Cleaves, Mo Pete. Like, Flint is definitely a basketball-oriented city. So, did you hoop with, like, any NBA players? Or against any? I know, like...
When I graduated in 2002. We ran up against people like Rashad McCants. Yeah, I'll never forget playing them. We ran up against them.
Rashad McCants.
Man, they beat us, man, but we shouldn't have really lost the game. Just you know, it's basketball. Basketball game runs. Got a chance to see LeBron, because LeBron was my age. Carmelo, all these people was my age. I grew up watching Charlie Bell's little brother. Was around my age, and then my best friend, that's his cousin. So I got a chance to grow up around watching them play basketball. His dad was like the person that gave me my first chance to play basketball on Sam Ragnar. That was what it was called, Sam Ragnar. We played Sam Ragnar. Basketball was different back then, man. Like coming up, because especially in the 90s, yeah, it was different, man. Every Saturday we was playing basketball at Holmes Middle School. They had a basketball league. It was more leagues. And then people back then, they didn't do it for the money. They did it because they loved the sport, and then they loved to help. Now, AAU costs so much money for a kid to play. You know, like, think about the kids that's coming out of a place like Flint. You know what I mean? Like, that can't afford to pay for the jersey, that can't afford to pay for transportation to and from where they trying to go. So, you know, it's just different. Times is changing. You know, I don't know. I tip my hat off to a lot of people. Like my best friend's dad, he started the AAU team called Airborne, just to give people in our community a chance to play too. We went to Vegas, we went to Florida, we went everywhere, you know, and played. So I don't know, man. Like, it's just times is changing, man. Like, it seems like everybody is after the money, you know, instead of helping the actual kid and helping people stay from out of the streets.
You think social media play a role into that?
social media, the technology, it's a gift and a curse with it, man. I don't know, man. It's in one way it's good because it puts. If we'd have had this back then, it's cats that I know that should have played in the NBA. But we don't have this, we didn't have this technology and stuff like that. But I just think, I ain't gonna say that it's bad, it's good, it's just the way that you use it. But the way that some people use it, they put up everything, man. They throw up everything. If they see somebody fighting out there in the hallway, they gonna run out there and pull their phone out. And I think I don't like that, I don't know, that's the way news travel now. It travels faster than anything we know, You want to know something, go get on social media. It's going to be on there. So that's why I always say, like, it's got a gift and a curse to it. If you do something bad, like, think about all the people that's in the sports, especially even high school kids. You do something bad, and where it hit social media. Guess what's happening? If you got a scholarship to a place, they taking your scholarship. Because it already circulated where it circulated. So it's kind of one of them things where you gotta know what you're putting out on social media. You gotta watch yourself, So.
Yeah, it's definitely it's called, what is it called? Digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Digital footprint is a real thing. It doesn't matter if you made something 10 years ago. It was posted on the internet. It's on the internet forever.
Yep.
So people will forever be able to go back and, like, you can't lie to the internet,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. But I think, like, because you do say it's a gift and a curse, I think if you was try to send a message through social media, I think that'll give an impact also.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got a point there. I mean, yeah, it do, but like I said, man, people do it for different reasons, People do it for, like I said, they do it for different reasons. And then it has a lot of influence on other people too, We wanted to know about something back then. We had to watch the news. Like, if the basketball game, you didn't go to the basketball game, you had to watch the news, or you had to hear about it from what somebody did, or how many points somebody scored, or read it in the newspaper. It wasn't social media. You dropped 50. If you wasn't there, you wasn't gonna see it unless somebody recorded it with a VCR camera. So that's kind of how it was back then. It was it's hit or miss. But now, it's got its special things to it. Somebody dropped 80 points, it's gonna be on the internet.
Right.
Or if you shoot somebody and somebody out here and they see it, they record it, you going to jail. So I don't know. It's a way that it's a fast way to get caught, and it's a fast way to, I don't know, information travels,
Yeah. Also, people like to glorify life before social media. Like, it's just they glorify it like it was just like something you just had to be there for sure.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole thing. Like I said, man, like the newspaper, like you at the basketball game, man, and you want to know who won, and you want to know the stats. You going to the newspaper the next day, it's gonna be in the newspaper. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that now. Ain't no newspaper. It's the internet. The internet is the newspaper. So that's the big thing. That's the big wave. So.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I definitely never read a newspaper now today.
Yeah, because you have, it's online.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to just see how time changes and how everything changes with time.
Mm-hmm.
Even looking back, like back then when you came up, y'all probably had like PS2s.
We had the PlayStation, the regular PlayStation. It was the regular Nintendo, Atari. I mean, I was born in the 80s, so it was Atari. Mm-hmm. And then it went from Atari to Sega and Sega Genesis and Nintendo. You had Nintendo 64. Yeah. You had all these different systems. Now what we on, PlayStation 5, 6? Yeah, I mean, I can't keep up with it. Even, it wasn't no computers. I mean, it was computers, but they was IBMs. I mean, we in class learning how to type on the big box. Ain't no thin screen, computers, big box computers with the floppy disk, That was how we was doing. And, like, y'all talk about Instagram and TikTok and all of that. It was Black Planet, it was.
Can you explain what Black Planet is?
Black Planet was a place where you went and you set up you a little page. Your page had to be sweet though. It had to be sweet, like, cause you knew what you was on there for. It wasn't on there to meet. It was a dating site before it was a dating site. You had to get your you wanted your best pictures put up on there. You want a nice background, but you had to know somebody that knew how to do it. Cause back then I didn't know how to do it. Somebody made me a page, but like I said, it was used to get on. When I first got to college, I used that to meet a couple of different people, and then boom, the next thing we know, Facebook came out. All these different platforms started rolling out. So that's how I look at it, man. That's 20-some years ago.
Yeah, you was coming up when phones first started.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I was selling phones.
For real?
Yep. Because a dude in the neighborhood, in one of my friends' neighborhood, he ran us down one day. We was dropping him off to back home, and he was like, "Man, I got these phones," and I'll never forget. It was the Samsungs. Who would you like to call it? It was the Flip Boys, but it was who would you like to call? Because you ain't even have to flip it. You could just hit the little button and say, "Who would you like to call?" And you could say it in there, and it would call the person. Nextel Chirps was another one, But I was selling phones straight out the box. This back when Sprint was first got popping,
Okay. Sprint's even still open?
Yeah, Sprint's still open.
Oh.
I think they still open. Verizon.
I think it's called Sprint by Verizon now.
Okay.
Sprint and Verizon is one.
But they merged, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, man, just stuff. Yeah, everything to change, man.
Yeah, I never seen a page or a beeper before, so.
Yeah. Two-way. We had the two-way beepers.
Yeah.
Two-way pagers. Yeah.
Never knew nothing about that. I mean, even when I see the movies, I can only imagine what life was like back then. I wasn't there for it, so I can only hear the stories and only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it sounded like y'all had a great time coming up, and y'all had a blast.
Yeah.
Like, even then, y'all in Flint, y'all had the strip.
Well, Clio Road.
People always talk. They always like to glorify the strip. I never even seen
and Saginaw Street.
Yeah, and Saginaw Street. I think Door Highway also.
Nah, we ain't really mess with Door Highway. If we went on Door Highway, we was going to JB's or the Purple Moon.
Yeah.
And even, what was the other place called? Cruisins? Yeah. Cruisins was the other place. I don't know where to go now because I don't go nowhere,
Yeah, me either. I just had this one place on Clyde. What was it called? It was a club.
The Beavers?
Yeah.
Beavers, you had the Palm Tree.
About the Beavers.
Yeah. What's next?
About the Beavers every other day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sounded like just had to be there.
Even over in the parking lot over here behind us, where the white building at, you had Auto World. So it was like a indoor kind of amusement park. But yeah, man, Flint had some stuff going on. How y'all even, the 4th of July used to be fun downtown. You could always run out to the Genesee Valley, get you a little outfit, get ready for the 4th. Yeah, man, it was, Flint was good times, man.
So what was the music scene like for you coming up? Like, was there any good rappers or good Flint rappers? I know now, like, you could just go out right now, you would meet a Flint rapper. But like back then, was there comment or like did people actually rap for real?
I wasn't paying attention to that stuff like that, man. Like I was listening to who I liked, you know what I mean? Like the Flint rappers. I mean, yeah, we know Dayton Family. We knew Top Authority and stuff. Some of the stuff that we listened to. The little Flint songs. But I wasn't out here around that type of crowd. That wasn't my crowd. I was around people that played sports. You was around the crowd that you was around, that you like to be around. But sports was what I was around. I was around people that did the same thing as I did, play sports. So you ain't really bump into too many celebrities. Was hoopers that you wanted to bump into, back then.
I know it's,
Pro-Ams is what was Pro-Am.
I heard about the Pro-Am.
What?
I remember a time my dad came and told me about how Jason Richardson shut the gym down.
Man, they was playing Southwestern. I don't know if that's the time he was talking about Jay Rich, the regular 360. He did the other way. Because some people 360 that way, he went the other way. I'm looking like, oh man, like it was it was some exciting players to watch. Charles Rogers, that Saginaw High team, they had Anthony Roberson. We actually lost to them in when I was in the 11th grade. We lost to Saginaw High in the districts, but they was pretty good, man. The city was loaded with talent, you know. We had pretty good people. Kevin Tolbert. You had Jaquan Hart. You had a bunch of people, man. I ain't gonna sit up here and name all them people, but at the time, them was like to me around my era, them was like the two players that was like, they was running the state.
Somebody
basically.
told me Kevin Tolbert was up there with LeBron James.
He was. What you mean? He was. Gatorade National Player of the Year. Yeah, he was, bro.
That's crazy.
He was up there, but he was a year older than LeBron.
I know now his son, Kevin Tolbert Jr., I think he's ranked number 2 in the state of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got real potential to go to the league.
Yeah.
He got a nice game for sure.
Yeah.
So seeing his son, I know his pops had a game because you know you are what your father.
His pops was a power player though. Oh, he dunking on everybody. I always tell this story because I grew up around him too, playing ball, and he played FA, but then he played for the AAU team called Discount Athletics. And I remember he was in the 8th grade. I was going to the 7th grade, and we used to always see him every summer because we played AAU ball. But this particular summer, we ain't even see him. We never seen him. And the first game we had, we played home. So I went to Southwestern from 7th to 10th grade. In the 7th grade, as soon as we get on the court, I'm looking and I'm like, who was that? I'm tapping my homeboy. I'm like, who was that? He's like, man, that's K. I'm like, that ain't no way that's K. K looked like a grown man, bro. And he used to be thin. But over that summer, he just developed his whole body. He transformed into a whole nother person, bro. And I remember when he went up, he was finna dunk, and I just hit at his arm like that. Ew, he and one easy. Coach pulled me over. He said, man, you see how big he is? You can't just be tapping at him like that. You gotta foul him. Like, if you gonna foul him, you gotta foul him. And I mean, like, foul him hard. So that was when I knew that he was special. Because that next year, he was cut, man. Like, he had league body then, you know. He was developed league body then. So, yeah, man, you knew the players that was special. He was special to watch.
Yeah, I think these type of people give kids the dreams of just wanting to go to the league also. I think what stopped my dreams of wanting to go to the league was I was in the 9th grade and we was playing against Hamilton. I was on the freshman team. When we came out, the kids were they was big, like real big, probably like 3 people out there that's like 6'1", 6'2". We little, we all 5'6", 5'7" and under. So we came out there, you know, we all looking little. Everybody immediately lost confidence. So we get to playing. As we playing, one of the Hamilton players break off into a fast break, and he ended up dunking on my teammate.
Mm-hmm.
And when he dunked on my teammate, that's when I realized, like, yeah, the league ain't for me. Ever since that day, I started working on my education. So I took my education serious after that.
But you don't gotta go to everybody got dreams of going to the league, man. But look at the draft, man. Look how many people, you know, I just heard somebody talking about this. Look how many people gonna get drafted. Look at how many college Division I colleges that's out there. Division II colleges that's out there. You think everybody that come in there, they going to the league? No. But you got overseas. To me, that's still going to the league. You still playing professionally. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever give up on your dream. You just might not make it to the NBA, but that's never saying that you can't still play basketball and get paid for doing it, you know? Look at the dude, Lethal Shooter. You think he couldn't play in the league? Probably could have played in the league, but he found his path, you know what I mean? It's about finding who you is and where you going. So, I don't know, I look at that, you know what I mean?
Being like Lethal Shooter, you think you could be like him, like a social media
I'm different, you know what I mean? Like, I'm who I am, man. You know, like, I'm creating my own legacy. You know, I ain't trying to level myself up to nobody. But I know when I come into a place, I know how I want to leave a place. Like, right now, I want to leave. I want to go and do something, something great. I want to go get a big job where I'm making $200,000, and I'm having fun with what I'm doing. It ain't came yet, you know what I mean? But that's not gonna stop me from working to get into it. So I don't know. I just look at, you have to do the work, and you continue to do the work. Is gonna pay off eventually. So that's just how I've been looking at it, man. Like everything don't happen overnight. So my success. A lot of people can't see what I'm doing. Just like I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what Dr. Gerwood doing. I don't know what Rasheem doing. Your success is what people don't see. The work that you putting in is what people don't see. So when you do get to that status up here, people never seen the behind the scenes stuff, So I don't know. I look at that, the work that I'm putting in. Like every video that you make, like when I was really into it and I watched a lot of Eric Thomas videos, I used to always go back to the first one when I was watching, content creators. Go back to the first one and watch what they doing from the first video and then start following to see how they got better. A lot of people think stuff happened overnight, but you got to go back and do your homework on people. You know what I mean? Like that's how people get to where they never stopped. He never stopped. He just kept making content. And he got good at it. So, you got to look at stuff like that and look at people like that, man. Like, that's what I believe in, the work that you put in. Even Dr. Erwood, he done got better. When we first started shooting these videos, first video, oh, Roy, man, I think I could have did a little something with the editing. And then as you watch and progress over time, he got better, and he got better. So, I don't know. I think people like to rush the process of things instead of putting in the work themselves and seeing their work developing. So I don't know. That's why I'm telling myself, like, the 30-year-old Roy, because I'll be 42 in June. The 30-year-old Roy. If I could tell the 30-year-old Roy what I know now is be patient. You have to be patient, man. You can't rush. I done left jobs. When I left Georgia State, I felt like I shouldn't have left Georgia State. But I can't say that now. But I felt like I was impatient. I wanted the job now. I wanted to be assistant director. I wanted to be a director. But there's stuff that I still got to go through the process of learning. Even now, I think I can do my boss's job right now. But I'm still learning. I'm still developing. My time, I can rush my time out there, but I know right now, like I said, my goal is to finish what I started, and that's to get my doctorate. So I'm going to be patient. Something come along. Somebody offered me something along here. I was patient enough to wait for the opportunity. So I'm waiting for the opportunity.
What you're doing now, studying for your doctorate.
Yep.
It's cool. Congratulations. I hope you achieve that, sir.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna achieve it. Yeah. Once I start it, I just always tell myself, once I start something, I'm gonna finish it. So that's just how I look at it. Yeah.
Thank you for your response also. I appreciate you for doing the interview with me, Roy.
Yep, no problem.
Sadly, I got to end it a little early because my camera about to die. So,
all right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, though.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Yep, thank you.